Howdy folks, Cowboy Joe here with a recapitulation of Lecture 3.30 Spark Timer Gravity Lab. Your goal by the end of this video lab challenge will be to create a particle model of an object falling using a spark timer. Then you will measure position vectors created by an object falling on the spark timer tape. And then finally calculate the acceleration due to gravity. Let's start our talk with gravity. There are small variations in the acceleration due to gravity at different places on Earth. This is because g varies with the distance from the center of Earth and is influenced by the subsurface geology. In addition, gravity varies with the latitude due to the Earth's rotation. For motion with constant acceleration like free fall, we could use our equation 2 to analyze the motion. If we start measuring at the spot where the object started to fall, we could let DO be 0. And then dividing both sides by t would result in an equation that really is solved for velocity. Now this is all we need to do. Total distance divided by time gives us our average velocity. And do you remember what the slope of a velocity time graph tells us? Y equals mx plus b. It would be in the location of the m. That will be our acceleration. So the slope would be 1/2 of a, according to this equation. And the y-intercept would actually be VO, which is the original velocity, or the starting velocity, which we're trying to keep to be as close to 0 as possible. So here is your Spark Timer Gravity Lab Challenge. In this activity, you will be using a spark timer to collect time data on an object that is dropped and use it to determine the acceleration due to gravity. So let's talk about the spark timer. The spark timer is a device that will burn a dot on a piece of timer tape at a certain rate. If the timer tape is pulled through the spark timer, then a particle model is created and can be analyzed. You can see a picture of the spark timer and timer tape in the pictures below. There are two switches on the spark timer. One is an on-off and one says 60 Hz or 10 Hz. Hz stands for Hertz, and that's how many sparks per second. So 60 is what we're going to use. So 60 sparks per second will give you 60 dots on a timer tape per second. What you need to do is tape a small, about 30 centimeters of timer tape onto a weight that you're going to drop. And in the picture, you can see that I used a mass and feed that timer tape into the spark timer shiny side up. Now when you drop it, hold it perfectly still and release it. Don't release it gradually. Release it very fast. And then if you look on the spark timer tape, you'll see a series of double dots. The very first smudge is when you were holding it. The first clear point after that smudge, label 0. And then number from there on up to about 8. Then lay your roller so that the 0 matches the 0. Now all you got to do is measure to each dot from the 0. Collect your data and follow the lab guide to solve for the acceleration due to gravity. So open a Spark Timer Gravity Lab and get started. Cowboy Joe out.